Hello there and welcome to a live video special. We have two very exciting draws coming up for you shortly. And I have some special guests with me along with Mr. Cups, Paul Baker. Hi, Paul. How you doing?
Very good. Thanks, Chris. How you doing?
Yeah, very well. Thank you for joining us. And our special guests who are going to help out with the two different draws. We've got Justin McCarthy. How you doing, Justin?
Hey, how are you doing?
Excellent. And we also have Tim, aka Snow Patrol.
How you doing?
Good to see you, Tim. Thanks for joining us. So, without further ado, we're going to do a couple of draws. And while we're doing the draws as well, I thought that we'd also might take some questions as well. So, if anyone's got any questions, they can ask us using the live chat or live text option in YouTube, and we will see the questions come up and we can answer them. So just don't ask us who you're getting in the draw because we don't know until we've done it. So so that's the whole way through, and we'll do some questions maybe to break up the draws or at the end. But we're going to start with the FFUK Cup last 16. So we're down to the final 8 fixtures in that competition. So, and there's some big names left. So shall we crack on? Paul, you're going to make a note of the draw as it happens.
Yeah.
And Tim's going to draw the home team and Justin is going to draw the away team. So Tim, whenever you're ready, you can get started.
Without further ado, Christopher. We have Andrew Downey.
Excellent. Andrew Downey, who defeated his son James in the last round, I think. And who's he going to be playing, Justin?
Okay. We have the man himself, Paul Baker.
Oh, okay. So,
out early.
Good job you didn't pick that bait, because otherwise someone would think it was a fix. Okay, so
Just crack on.
Right.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, crack on, Tim. Yeah, whenever you're ready. Justin's
Okay, I better make sure and be very random with this one. I'm not looking.
Yeah,
we didn't think that through.
And it is Dave Windsor.
Oh, okay, that's a tricky tie. He's a good player. He's always up there. So
there's no easy ties at this stage, as you know, Chris.
Very true.
Right.
Very true.
Other cliches that are available.
Can't believe you've used that one already.
John Wilson.
No, John Wilson, who defeated me in round 1 a long time ago.
Okay.
I forgot to say that Justin beat me.
Sorry, it's Gregory Lyford.
Lyford, yep.
Okay.
Lyford,
yeah.
Right, next up we have Shane Newton.
Shane Newton. Excellent.
Defeated Matt Breen.
Stuart Allen.
Stu, okay.
Blue Stew.
Yeah, Blue Stew, excellent. It's a nice tie, okay.
Right,
no big or WhatsApp ties yet.
Ashley Cox.
Ashley Cox.
We'll play Trevor Dennison.
Ooh, okay, yep. Trev's in the WhatsApp group. Big Spurs fan.
3 to go. Mark Spear.
Mark Spear.
Or Spearsy, as he's known.
Plays Jamie Stevens.
Who's that one? Jamie Stevens.
You got that, Jamie Stevens?
Jamie Stevens.
Okay. A WhatsApper.
Oh, Blakey.
Blakey.
Plays Paul Brown.
Paul Brown. Okay, that's an all WhatsApp tie, yep. And that must mean we've got one left, is it?
It means I've left.
Yep.
Best of the last, possibly.
Oh, Jamie Stewart.
Yes.
Who's Jamie?
Plays Vince Siracusa.
Okay. That's another all WhatsApp tie. Excellent. Okay. Well, most of the big boys have been kept apart there, which is good for the competition.
Is it?
Excellent.
Well, I think I don't know. It's sort of thing you say, Tim. Just waffle, really. Yeah. So,
I
so
thought the
that's
FA Cup was shit.
Do you want me to run through the ties, Chris? Quickly?
Yeah, do it. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
So we've got the 8 ties are Andrew Downey versus Paul Baker, Justin McCarthy versus Dave Windsor, John Wilson versus Gregory Lyford, Shane Newton versus Stu Allen, Ashley Cox versus Trevor Dennison, Mark Spearsy, as he's now known, versus Jamie Stevens, Blakey versus Paul Brown, and JDS versus Vince Siracusa.
Excellent.
Those ties
Excellent.
will be played in the month of February.
Perfect. And you'll up, yeah, that's it. You'll update the Google Sheet, and that will be the link to that will be on the Cup page for anyone who wants to check it. And then the scores will be updated throughout the month. Yeah, so that's that one. How many game weeks have we got in February? Is it
3? Oh, I knew you were going to ask that.
3 or 4?
3, I think it is. Just 3.
Is it?
Well, there's a winter break in the middle, isn't there? Which isn't a winter break, as we know. But
what do you want?
And of course, yeah, that's one game week over 2 weeks, isn't it?
Get out of it.
It's like that BBC video.
Say hello.
Hey.
Right, no. Right, don't touch any of those. That's important. Go away. Right, go back. Bye.
This doesn't
I think
happen.
it looks like what? It looks like there's 4 game weeks in February. Just having a quick
Okay. That's all right.
It's 25, 26, 27, and 28.
Cool. Bye. Right, go ahead. Let's.
That was your BBC newsreader moment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Lisa didn't go out. She's left her phone in here, so she'll be back in a second anyway.
Oh, she will.
Right,
Awesome.
anyway.
Okay, so let's move on to the Champions League. Now, before we do this draw, which is going to take a bit longer,
Right.
Paul, you're going to do your best to explain just quickly how this works. So go for it. Take the floor.
Right. Okay. So first of all, apologies for the complexity of it. As I keep saying, don't blame me, blame UEFA. The principle of the Champions League, or the FFUK Champions League, is that it replicates as far as we can the Champions League as it actually happens in real life. So there is an incredibly convoluted qualifying process, which I'll go through in a minute, which then culminates in the group stage, which is obviously where we're at in real life. And then, of course, it progresses from there to the knockout stage. So 79 clubs in total qualified for the Champions League this year. Of those, 53 are whittled down to just 6 qualifiers for the group stage, who are then joined by 26 automatic qualifiers for the group stage. So all of this for us will kick off in game week 26, and it'll kick off with the preliminary round. So there's just 4 teams that started the Champions League in the preliminary round. And over 2 game weeks, they're whittled down from 4 to 2 and then 2 to 1. And then and I'm trying to keep up with myself here, game week, they're joined by 31 more qualifiers, new entries. So then you've got 32 teams who play off down to 16 who go through to the second qualifying round. They're joined by another 8. So that makes 24, who then whittled down to 12 who qualify for the third qualifying round. They're joined by another 8 teams, 20. So they're whittled down then to 10 who qualify for the playoff round, who are joined by another 2 to make 12, who are then whittled down to the final 6 qualified. So like I say, don't blame me, blame UEFA. We will follow precisely that process as it goes through. So we'll go to the draw in a minute, and teams that have qualified, managed to qualified, will be assigned a team. So if you're unlucky enough to get one of the 4 teams that entered in the preliminary round,
it's all right. We're all good here.
if you're unlucky enough to get one of the 4 teams who were in the preliminary round, hard lines, that means you've got the extra 2 weeks of qualifying that nobody else has.
I'm going to confirm to everyone who they are, Bix.
Yeah, so those 4 teams that you might want to look out for are SP Trepene, the team from San Marino, Ferrone Kelly, the Kosovan team, FC Santa Coloma, which sounds like a horrible medical condition, They are the Andorran team, and finally Lincoln Red Imps of Gibraltar. So those are the 4 teams you don't want. Teams, of course, that you do want are the 26 teams that go straight through to the group stage. By getting group stage, that means you avoid, 6 weeks worth of qualifying. So that's definitely
so ideally you want a Man United, not Man United, they're not in it, but a Juventus or a Real Madrid or a Chelsea or
Liverpool, exactly. Yeah, one of those teams qualified for the group stage. The group stage itself will run over 3 weeks. So trying to replicate the fact that the group stage is a bit of a sort of a longer process. That round will take up 3 weeks.
So you could lose one of those ties and still get through.
It's not done on a ties basis; it's an aggregate score. So for 8 groups of 4, it's your aggregate score over 3 game weeks, and the top 2 qualify as they do in the Champions League. So those aren't played against each other; it's just a simple aggregate score.
Okay, so Justin's turn to drink. It's it's not simple, but I think once it gets going,
it's pretty straightforward.
Once you get in it, once you know which team you've got, you can have a look at the path that team would have to take in order to win the Champions League, and so you can see how many weeks you've got to play. Obviously, I'll keep everybody updated on the WhatsApp group, on the website, in terms of how it's all going. One thing to say as well, it's been a bit of a debate with us and some of the other guys about exactly how it's going to work in terms of how you progress and what your team is as you progress through the Champions League. So another slightly tricky thing to get your head around is if the match will obviously be against another FFUK manager, and the winning manager then picks up the team that won that tie in the real Champions League. So your team will change as you progress through the Champions League. The winning FFUK manager picks up the winning team for the tie in real life. So that means, as I say, the team will change as you progress. Okay. But what it means is that we can use the draws and results that have already taken place that UEFA have already done, so we don't have to do the draws ourselves every week.
Great. So you've mapped it all out, and again, that's on the Google sheet, isn't it? If
all on the Google sheet for the Champions League, yeah. So it's
have a look at it. Yeah. Okay. Great. All right. Well, and how it's going to work is we're going to go through the qualification methods, announcing who's qualified one by one, and then Justin and Tim will pick out teams and we'll allocate a team to each person. So it's slightly different this draw, but it should work fine. So now, which one of you two had the 40 teams? I can't remember now. Tim. So so you're going to go first once Paul's told us who you're picking for. So yeah, Paul, take it away. You're in charge.
So good. So we'll go, as Chris was saying, we'll go through qualification method by qualification method, so I can explain how each one worked in turn, and then we'll go to all the people who qualified via that method in turn, and then we'll take it one qualification method by in turn as we go. So what we'll do is we'll start with teams who finished in the top 20 last year, and we wanted to have this as a qualification method, kind of reflecting how the Champions League works, is that your performances in the previous season actually mean that you qualify for the Champions League in the current season. So we drew the line there at the top 20. So we'll start off by taking
that's why Chris is in this draw, isn't it?
That's why Chris is in this draw. Absolutely. It's why you're in this draw as well, Tim. We'll start then with the manager who won FFUK last year, and that was Alan Tompkins.
Okay, yeah.
Team will Alan be assigned.
So Tim's going to draw this one.
Oh, Scotland's second team.
Oh. Celtic. Oh no, that's brutal. Celtic joined in the first qualifying round this year.
Okay.
Long journey to the promised land for Alan Thompson.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, that just
the guy finished second last year was Jordan Davison.
Okay. Excellent.
The Porto.
Porto.
Did you get that? Porto.
Porto. Yeah. I'm just scrolling in here to try and find.
Obviously, won the Champions League in 2003 under Jose Mourinho.
Porto join in the third qualifying round, so they'd need to get through the third qualifying round of the playoff round to get to the group stage. And next name is Nick Johns.
Nick Johns, former league champion, former league winner.
Oh. AIK, is that? All right.
Yeah, AIK, yeah. Swedish
AIK.
team.
Okay, again, not a great tie. They join in the first qualifying round.
Okay.
Interestingly, AIK means public sports team. Did you know that?
No, we didn't. That's very good, Tim. Good job you're here.
Next team. I keep forgetting I have to do this. Sean Colohan, Coolers.
Coolers. Don't worry, Bakes, you'll get it by the time we get to 79.
Will be. Oh man, this is a hard one. Nono Kalju from Estonia.
Let me see it.
Oh my
Nono
God.
Kalju.
Right, okay. Where are they?
Estonian.
Oh, God, right. So
Estonian.
their first qualifying round as well. So, yeah, a few duff draws so far.
Well, this is good for anyone who hasn't been called
Coolers'
out yet.
performance this year, doesn't it?
Next one, finished fifth last year, John Harper.
Zenit St. Petersburg.
Zenit.
Okay. They're a bigger team, aren't they? They must qualify fairly late.
Yeah, I've got no interesting stats about them because we all know them.
Yeah, so they qualified directly for the group stage.
Oh, okay. So that's the best draw so far.
Handy for John.
That's what you want. Okay.
Then we've got Neil Goodwin.
Okay. And Neil is currently winning the best game week score at the moment for the season.
Sarajevo. Bosnia.
Well,
Sarajevo.
I'm guessing, but they have to qualify.
Bosnia and Herzegovina.
And so, yeah, that's first qualifying round as well. Bit of a shame for Neil. Long way to go. Mark, sorry?
I was going to say, it's a bit like Eurovision, this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mark Leatham is next.
Oh,
Tim.
Leafy. One of Tim's mates. Oh, and Tim gets the honour. Oh, who's he going to get for him?
Dynamo Kiev.
Oh, that's not bad.
He can't be shouting at me for that one.
No. Chicken Kiev.
Yeah. Third qualifying round for Big Bad. 2 qualifying rounds before the group stage for him. And next we've got Vince Siracusa. Still in the FFUK Cup.
Against Jamie, yeah.
I have no idea. SP trade. I don't even know what country that could be.
Okay.
Penny pasta.
That's the San Marino team that no one wants to get. So unlucky, Vince.
They start in the preliminary round. So you've got those first 2 game weeks where 4 become 1. Here we go. Tim McEwan.
Team out for him.
Controversial.
I've got my eyes closed. Galatasaray.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Could have been worse.
That's right. Qualified for the group stage, Tim.
Oh,
Straight through.
Take that all day long.
Sit back and relax till the group stages.
Next, we got the Space Cowboy.
Can I get my daughter in to do the rest of the draw then?
Yeah.
Shakhtar Donetsk.
Who was that one, Paul? Is this James Amar, did you say?
James Amar.
And he's got Shakhtar. Now, they qualified, didn't they? Or are they Europa League? I can't remember.
No, yeah, straight through to the group stage for James Amar. And
Juicy.
next, we have JDS, Jamie Stewart.
Okay.
Jimmy Stewart.
He'll be watching.
Oh. Club Bruges.
Oh, that's not bad again.
Should be good, yeah.
You'd be surprised, though. Third qualifying round for Club Bruges.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, she's back. Like, go away. I've actually got some work to do here. You can do whatever you want. Go. Apart from drink beer. You can eat chocolate, drink beer, just go and do whatever you need. No, actually, don't drink my beer. I was joking. Right, go. Good night. She was at Brownies until half-8, but
Not anymore.
right, go.
Next player finished 12th last year, Lewis Bell.
One of Grant Laurie's mates. Okay.
PFUK, PLK,
Greek team, yeah.
That's the Athens team, isn't it? Oh, I thought I knew something about European football.
They went through it. They came through in the third qualifying round again. So that's 2 qualifying rounds to go before the group stage. And then we're on to Paul Reed. Finished 13th.
Okay.
Matt's brother, I think.
Yep.
Oh, that's a good one.
Nice.
Yeah, straight to the group stage. Where are they? There we go. Cool. Brilliant. So next up we have Damien O'Neill. Damo finished 14th last year.
Sam will kill me if I get this.
Lincoln Redding.
Looking good. Albanian.
Oh no, what's he done? Annie of Albania. Love it.
I
don't know anything about them.
Joined in the first qualifying round. Next, we have Marcus Blowers.
Oh, that's on me. Oh, I got it.
Lincoln Redding. There they are. There we are.
Marcus.
Another.
Do you want my fact now, Dix? Do you?
Yes, please.
Glad these are being taken out for me for later.
They play in the National Stadium in Gibraltar, but they share it with all other league entries. So they all play in the same stadium. There you go.
So every game's a home game.
Exactly. For both teams.
I love it.
Lovely. Yeah. Sociable. Next up, we got Big Daz, Darren Russell. Finished. What can we find?
And who's Daz got?
Victoria Pleasant. Check.
Tomorrow, can we go to
Victoria Pilsen. Yeah.
He left a beer for me, by the way, boys.
Nice. Oh, yeah.
I need to find these things in my list here. Victoria Poulsen. Who was that? That was Darren, wasn't it? So they joined in the second qualifying round. So fair way for Dazza to go to win the competition. Next up, we've got Lawrence Spriggings.
The Sprig.
On me, isn't it?
Yep.
Atalanta.
Oh, okay. Now they're in the group stage.
The Nerazzurri.
Yeah,
Did they have
indeed.
to qualify? Yeah.
No, they're in the group. They got straight through to the group stage. So Lawrence goes straight through. Next, we have got Steve Cronin.
Come on, one more time.
Brother of a legend. Finished 18th last year.
I seem to have all the dud teams. Sort of Lithuania.
There's a lot of them, Justin.
There's a lot of these, yeah. And as you would expect, they joined in the first qualifying round. So yeah,
that's not great. That's not great.
Not ideal. Next up, here we go. Chris Galloway.
And Tim, you got the.
How much, Chris? How much?
Just remember, this is all I've got left this season.
FC Copenhagen.
Oh, I quite like a trip there, though.
FC Copenhagen's second qualifying round, Chris.
Not ideal.
Could be worse, but could be better. So you'll join the competition in game week. It'll be the fourth week of competitions. What's that? Game week 29. Finally, the manager that finished 20th last season was Ben. I'm going to say Pitch. PYC.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah. Azerbaijan.
Karabag.
Sure.
Karabag.
There goes the Karabag. Their first qualifying round again. So Ben's got a long way to
Ouch.
go. So now,
Okay, so that's top 20, yeah.
Yeah, so we're through the top 20. So that was the first qualification method. The second qualification method, sort of along the same lines, was wanting to give the winners of the cups from last year as well automatic entry to the Champions League. That seemed to make sense in terms of how things work with the UEFA Champions League. Actually, Alan Tompkins, I think, Chris, won both the FFUK League and the FFUK Cup.
Yeah, he did the double.
Which sort of brings me on to another rule around qualification, that you can't qualify. Of course, you can't qualify twice because that doesn't make sense. You only qualify once. So Alan Tompkins qualifies by dint of being in the top 20. But that does mean then that we don't have a qualifier from the FFUK Cup. So another rule is that the qualification doesn't pass to the next best. You have to have won something. You have to have qualified by right in order to qualify.
Yeah.
So
Rightly so.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have, though, the winner of the milk plate from last year, which was Tom Newman. So he is the next one out of
Yeah,
and that's
Tom's
Tim
in the WhatsApp group.
And he has got Barcelona.
Oh, juicy.
Barcelona.
Very nice.
So straight through to the group stage, of course, for Tom. So on to the next qualification method. Some of these will take less time than others. Of course, giving the opportunity to cup winners in the top 20 from last year kind of works against those teams that have joined FFUK this year. People like so. In order to kind of recognise that a little bit, what we decided to do was to give qualification to the top 5 new FFUK managers. Now, this is based on overall rank as of the end of game week 24. Of those 5 that qualified through that route, 2 had qualified by another method already. Some of those methods that we'll come on to in a moment. So we've got 3 of those top 5 to draw. And the first of those is Justin McCarthy.
Hey!
Nice.
And who's drawing Justin?
And he's drawing himself.
Am I drawing myself?
Ooh, controversial.
What is it going to be that's coming out of this?
As long as it's someone Albanian.
Yeah, we're looking for FC Santa Coloma.
I've got them.
Maccabi, Tel Aviv. I mean, they're a big name.
Second qualifying round, I'm afraid, Justin. So
I'll take it.
Same stage as Chris. Also, who qualified through finishing top, so I think second out of that top 5 new FFUK is Dean Cummings.
Oh yeah, he's right up there, isn't he, this season? So just behind Justin, I think.
Yeah.
Dean Cummings, RB Leipzig.
That's a pretty good draw as well.
Good draw, yeah.
Did they qualify for the group stage? I think they did. Yes, they did. So straight through to the group stage for Dean. And then the third of the top 5 that we need to worry about for this part of the draw is Adam Vardy.
All right.
It's one of your mates, isn't it, Justin?
Yeah.
James' brother.
He's Polish crowd. Yes.
Hold it up a little bit so I can see it.
Sorry.
Bloody hell, right.
How'd you say that?
A Vardy party in Poland then?
Yeah. Good wicket.
Piast Gilovice. Adam Vardy. So that's first qualifying round. So not ideal for Adam. Good.
Well,
So
at least we know the draw anyway. Haven't done any favours to anyone.
those are the top 5 new FFUKers. We also wanted to recognise the top young FFUK. So there's going to be a prize this year for top young FFUK. So I think there's sort of 7 or 8 that were in the running for that. Again, as with the top 5 new FFUKs, it was based on overall rank at the end of game week 24. And the manager who fits that particular bill is Tom Page Chatton.
Oh, well done, Tom.
Well done, Tom. Tim, if you could draw the team out for Tom.
Oh, he'll be happy.
Dortmund.
That's the draw you want.
Right through to Page. Next, then we have. So we started now. So we've kind of recognize those different types of qualifications we've gone through so far. The next up is the Manager of the Month. So if you want a Manager of the Month award so far this season, the 6 months that we've had to date, again, you get qualification for the Champions League. 2 of those had qualified already by other methods. So we've got 4 more names to read out who've been Managers of the Month. And we'll start with Stephen Mountford, who had an amazing game week 24 as well. Thanks, Stu. That's great. That's lovely. Always your contributions are well.
Thanks, Stu. Yeah, thanks, Stu.
So Stephen Mountford, Justin.
Yep.
Stephen Mountford, who got the he's the most up to date.
Whenever,
the first Manager of the Month. Oh, Young Boys.
Young Boys. I don't know whether that's.
Yeah. There's a joke. There's a joke there somewhere.
So interesting. So I say interesting. It's maybe interesting for me. That's one of the 2 teams that come in on the playoff round. So that's the round before the group stage. So 2 teams enter there: Young Boys and Slavia Prague. So that's Stephen Mountford picked up one of those. So that's not too bad. Next up, we've got David Sullivan, who won a Manager of the Month award early on in the season.
David has got, I have no idea, Istanbul somewhere.
Istanbul something. And they joined
the 5 Super League teams based in Istanbul, Paul, by the way.
Oh, very good. And apologies to our Turkish viewers.
They joined in the 3rd qualifying round, so that's not too bad for Davids. Then we've got Duncan Galloway.
My uncle, who I'll be seeing on Wednesday.
Uncle Duncan gets Maribor.
Maribor. Now they are Swedish, are they? Or Slovenian. SVN.
Slovenian, yeah. Didn't Chelsea play them?
I think so, yeah.
What's your name?
Maribor. Ooh, first qualifying round though, so not ideal at all.
No.
And finally, the most recent Manager of the Month award winner, the one who won in January, Steve Coffin.
Big Steve, yes.
Steve,
He's currently skiing at the moment, but I'm sure once he gets back from his après ski, he'll be tuning.
Is he skiing with Santa?
Yes, he is.
Oh, there it is. FC
Santa Coloma.
Of course.
13 times winners of the Andorran Championship.
Oh.
Hey. Goodness me. Well, they joined the Champions League in the preliminary round, so Steve's got a long way to go if he's going to win this.
You can ski in Andorra, can't you, actually?
There are mountains there, yeah.
He could be there.
He could be skiing in Andorra, yeah. That'd be ironic.
With Santa.
Yeah.
Great. So we're through the Manager of the Month. So now we are on to Manager of the Week. So if you were the top game scorer in a given week, and of course you hadn't qualified via another method already, then you also get qualification to the Champions League. So we're starting off with managers who won early on in the season. So we're starting with Stephen Watson.
Sorry.
It's you, Justin, I think. I've got you down as the Justin.
I'm not even going to try.
Oh my goodness. Right. Okay.
Skenja?
Skenja.
What country
Yes.
is it?
First
qualifying
round, Stephen.
Okay.
Then we've got Malek Mansour.
Malek has got Krasnodar. Who I think Everton played not that long ago. Not interesting.
They started in the 3rd qualifying round, so it could be worse for Malek. Sean Griffin next up.
Get Lusk from France.
Lusk is Olympic. Is that Lyon? Or
They qualified for the group stage, didn't they? I think? Yes.
Lyon. Yeah.
Yeah, group stage for Griffin.
Excellent. Good draw for him.
No, we have Chris Norman.
Chris Norman has got HB Torshvan from the Faroes.
From the Faroe Islands. They must be early on.
Must be.
Interestingly, HB stands for Harbour Football Club.
Yeah, first qualifying round for Chris. Interestingly, they're not in the Faroe Islands. They're not in the preliminary round, so that's they managed to achieve that. But I suppose that's reasonable. Bela, Jason.
Hot tub boy.
Good.
We're almost halfway
New
there.
Saints.
Oh, good.
The New
Saints. Wales.
New Saints. Is that Wales?
It is.
Yeah.
Mm.
Total Network Solutions, as they used to be called.
Oh, is that them? Is it? Brilliant.
Is that them?
Same
Yeah.
initials. They had to change their name.
Yeah.
For various reasons, they changed their name. To the New Saints.
Amazing. That's good.
Bumping in the streets of Total Network Solutions tonight and all of that. First qualifying round for Bela. Next up, we've got Ryan Corbett.
Okay.
And Corbett has got Benfica.
And
Nice.
So that's
Solid.
group stage, isn't it? Yes, it is indeed. Next up, we've got Peter Hayes.
Pedro.
Doing very well.
Yeah, this is a good one. PSV Eindhoven.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's do that.
That's one you can pronounce, Justin. Well done, sir.
You'd think PSV Eindhoven would be a good one, but second
Oh, no.
qualifying round.
Oh, same as me, yeah.
Yeah, so not that great, really. Yeah, long way to go.
I guess this is it. I mean, we don't know where PSV obviously didn't win the league. Obviously, Ajax won the league. So, yeah, I guess.
Right down the,
Yeah.
right down the list. Next up, we've got Stu Allen. Blue Stew.
Blue Stew. Give him Liverpool.
Yeah.
Nope. Oh. Arat. Oh, from Armenia.
Alright.
Sorry, Stu.
And he's watching.
My little Everton mate will be
There you go.
reading.
If you want to Google Ararat, what are they called? Ararat what?
Yeah. Ararat, Armenia. They were
Ararat,
formed in
Armenia.
2017, Chris. If you Google them, you'll find that out. And they won the league in 2019.
Oh, it's like having John Motson with us.
Should have worn my coat.
They, of course, joined in the first qualifying round, so not an ideal draw.
Sorry, Stu.
Next up, we've got Jez Penn. I knocked out in the last round of the FFUK Cup.
Got Ludogorets from Bulgaria.
Oh, okay. Ludogorets. I've definitely heard of them before.
They're all
Yeah.
right. Did they qualify? Automatically they're first qualifying round for Ludogorets. And that's great for Jez. Next, we have James Nalepa.
Okay.
James Nalepa has Juventus.
Oh, that's as good as it gets.
Germany. 26 of these group stage automatic qualifiers to be had as we go through. A few already gone, but plenty more to come. That's 39 down, 40 to go. And so the next name is Glenn Johnson.
Okay. Yep.
Got Salzburg from Austria.
Salzburg. Did they qualify for the group stage? They did. Well done,
Oh,
Glenn.
that's decent. Yep.
You. And then we have Matt Packham.
Max Packham has F91 Dude Lang.
What country are they from?
They are from, I don't know, actually. Luxembourg, I'm going to guess that is.
Yeah.
It is Luxembourg. So first qualifying round.
Formed in 1991, Chris. That's why they're called F91.
Oh, very good.
It's amazing this knowledge you've acquired over
It
70
is.
Over the last hour and a half.
It's so many hours.
You realise we're gonna have to call you back for every draw now with this kind of facts.
Next up, we got Scott Hassel. Still on the Manager of the Week awards, but we're almost through those.
Get Slavia Prague.
Slavia Prague. So they were the other
Slavia
team
Prague.
joined in the playoff round. So that's the round before the group stage. So just one qualification round before group stage for Scott. Next up, Jamie Stevens.
Jamie Stevens has Bayer Leverkusen.
Oh, that's nice.
It's got to be group stage, hasn't it? Straight through. It is straight through to the group stage for Jamie Stevens. And next is Joe Warrington.
Get Valletta. From I do not know where.
Malta, maybe?
Malta?
That is Malta.
Maltesers.
Where are they? The letter first qualifying round. Who was that? Joe Warrington.
Yep.
Good. Next up, we have Alex Kasner, ACAS.
Alex, who was very lucky to escape Cont's eviction this week
He was by
Yes, he was.
by a point. Yeah.
Oh, he's not getting much luck now. Veronique Kelly.
That's the other one. That's
Castle
the
at his
other
finest.
one. That's the preliminary round done.
Oh,
So we've got our 4 teams who will contest those first 2 game weeks in the preliminary round. We've got Vince, we've got Alex, we've got Steve Coffin and Marcus Blowers. So they have joined collectively the short straw.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Ronnie Friel. Anna's brother.
Yeah.
Riga, Latvia.
Riga of Latvia.
Damien O'Neill, have I been drawn yet?
Yeah, I drew someone rubbish
Yeah.
for you. I can't remember.
Hang on.
Paul will
hang
tell
on.
you. Paul will tell you in a minute.
Looking down the list, see if I can find him. Where are you? Someone near the top. Oh yeah, Partizani from Albania.
Ah, yes. Justin picked that
round,
one for you.
Sorry, damn it.
No.
There's not many
it.
good teams there. Like.
Next up, Danny Burgess.
It's on me, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
Danny Burgess. Oh, Dirty Dundalk.
Oh dear.
Your interesting fact about that, Chris, is it's a shithole, and I drove through it today.
Oriel Park is one of the worst stadiums around.
Fucking up.
oh, really?
And that's
I
the
have
third-
Linfield in my pod over here, by the way, Tim.
What's that?
I have Linfield over here, by the way. Speaking of rubbish teams.
I agree.
Next up, and the final qualifiers from the managers of the week is Paul Brown.
Okay.
That's on you, Justin.
I give him Linfield. He's a glamour.
I got PSG, I guess. Paris.
Paris, yeah. PSG.
That's a nice one.
They're definitely qualified for the groups.
They definitely qualify for the group stage. Indeed so.
Interesting fact about them, capital of France.
You're on it, Chris. You're on it.
Yeah, man.
Where does the Saint-Germain come from?
They used to get their TVs off Sam Germain, but it sounded more French.
So through the managers of the week, we're now into the next qualification method. So we wanted to recognise those people who did particularly well in the FPL Cup. I can't remember where we drew the cut. Somewhere over the Christmas period.
Yeah.
At that point, there were still 8 teams left in the FPL Cup. Whether any of them are still in or not, I've no idea. Of those 8, 3 had already qualified. So we added 5 more qualifiers for the Champions League. From those, as I say, at that cut-off point, who was still in the FPL Cup. And the first one of those to draw is Toby Gleischer. Hello, Matt.
Excellent.
Right.
Yeah, Reedy's here. Yep.
And that's on Tim.
Is it me?
Oh, is it Tim, is it?
That's
Sorry.
Tim, is it? Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, boys.
Getting excited.
Basel.
Let's go.
It's a good one. Good one, Toby.
Well, again, you'd think You would think, but second qualifying round they joined in. So no, and it's same
as me.
You, Chris. So quite a long way to go from there. And next we've got Jake Walker.
Jakey, okay.
Jake, okay, this is a nice one. Valencia.
Home of the paella.
Group stage, Jake.
Group stage, excellent.
Next up, Gemma Gibson.
First lady.
Gemma has got Lask.
Lask, Austria. I'm guessing they enter quite early.
Stands for Linzer Athletic Club, Sport Club.
Oh, very good.
Actually, that was not too bad. Third qualifying round. So
they must have won the Austrian League, maybe.
Must have done, yeah. So they need to win the third qualifying round, get through the playoff round, and then they'll be in the group stage. Next up, Alex Sadlier.
Alex Sadlier, Blakey's brother-in-law.
Good. Tottenham Hotspur.
Now Blakey's a big Spurs fan. I think Alex is a Man United fan, I think.
So he'll be delighted about that.
Well, Spurs is a good one, really.
So, yeah, all good. So then, finally, through from the FFUK Cup, Phil Andrews.
Okay.
Phil Andrews has got the Rent Boys.
Chelsea. Chelsea. Straight through, of course, to the group stage.
So Paul, have we done Reedy yet? Just because he's
done
watching.
Reedy yet. Well, we're just about to. We're just about
lovely.
to.
Good timing. Okay.
Perfect. So we're into a group of people who have been recognised as doing a lot of work in the background for FFUK, who've written posts for the league this season and done various other things for the league this season. So amongst those who haven't qualified via other means, we've got 5 people who've qualified via this route. And the first of which is Peter Cronin. Who has Peter Cronin got? That's on you, Justin.
It's me, is it?
Yeah.
Pete gets Sheriff Terraspool.
I think there's a new nickname coming here.
Sheriff Cronin.
Sheriff Cronin, first qualifying round, Pete, I'm afraid to say.
Oh, dear.
MDA. I think they might be Macedonian, perhaps, or Moldovan or something like that. Not ideal for Peter. Next up, it's me.
I'll take that seriously now. Right, Big, who do you want?
I'll even take Liverpool.
Well, yeah, absolutely, you would.
Hungarian.
Ferencváros. I think they were good back in the 70s.
60s, I think you'll find, Chris. They won the FFUK Cup in 1964, beating Juve in the final, would you believe?
That's the content I'm after.
First qualifying round.
Biggs, you're welcome.
That's not great. Yeah, cheers, mate.
Maybe.
And next up, we got Reedy.
Reedy's tuned in.
Yeah, Reedy. Your team will be
to Lokomotiv Moscow.
Okay.
Which should be okay.
Where do they enter? Oh,
Join
no way. Wow.
Stage.
There you go.
Locomotive, so that's a good draw.
Finally, I got someone a good draw.
Next up, it's Big Duncan Hannigan.
We Dunk.
Big
We Dunk has got Dynamo.
GNK
Dynamo, whoever they are.
Formerly known as Dynamo Zagreb, Chris. That's who they are.
Right,
so
makes
we know
sense.
them as second qualifying round.
They also won the FFUK Cup, by the way, in the 60s. They beat Leeds in the final. There you go.
Fantastic. And finally, amongst this group of qualifiers for their post writing for FFUK, we've got James Downey, who's also been doing all that work for us on the logo.
Yes. Who's James got then? Can't get Villa, obviously.
You're not even going to have it home, no.
I've just given up at this stage.
Well, we want to see
Jessica.
So Jessica from
Yeah,
North Macedonia.
So, Jessica, I think they're from Montenegro. I was looking at them earlier. Where are they? They're very near the top.
Yeah, Montenegro. Yeah.
So Jessica, so yeah, Montenegro. Who are we doing? Oh, that's changed, isn't it? Yeah, first qualifying round for James. So we're into now the final method of qualification. So we always knew we were going to have 79 teams. We had those qualifying methods that we already identified. And the plan was going to be to top up with teams from game week 24. So, and that's just ranked on game week score in game week 24. Those that, amongst those that hadn't already qualified via another route, would qualify via game week 24. So that meant we had 21 teams that ended up qualifying through just their scores in game week 24. And that actually, and I'll talk about this a little bit more when we get there, but actually in the end, because so many of those teams had already qualified for other routes, it actually ended up going down to rank number 32, because 11 of the higher teams had already qualified.
Oh, that's good.
You needed to score 81 points or more in game week 24 to qualify. And so the team, Stephen Mountford, who won the round with 118 points.
Yeah,
he'd already
12,
16.
I think. Yeah, -4, so 112.
Right. So yeah, so he'd already qualified. So the first one qualifying through game week 24 was the other team to score over 100 points, which was managed by Chris Webb. And I think we're on you, Tim, for this one.
Chris Webb has got Genk. Not to be confused with Ghent, like those two Liverpool fans who went to the
I love that.
Amazing. And they qualified directly for the group stage.
Some good
Belgian League. Next up, we've got
good
Andrew.
compo faces, those two guys.
Yeah, it was.
Next up, we've got Andrew Fogarty.
Okay.
Get Olympiacos. Greece.
That's solid. You would think.
You would think, but it doesn't always work out that way. Again, you see, at second qualifying round for Olympiacos.
Really?
So, yeah, not ideal. Next up, Craig Smith.
the scum.
Liverpool. Draw straight through to the group stage. Next up, Haroon Rashid.
Yeah.
Justin.
Oh, sorry. I was distracted by the backward. Get Reykjavik. Nice one.
Okay. Valur Reykjavik.
They're going to be near the top of my list somewhere, I should think. Yes, they are. First qualifying round for Haroon. Next, we've got Stephen Almond.
Stephen has Astana. Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan.
Great. That's not great. First qualifying round for Stephen. And then we've got Mark Spearsy.
Get Leon, France.
Nice.
That's going to be automatic. It is. Straight through to the group stage for Mark. Almost there, guys. David Harrison next up. Team number 65 of 79.
Dave Harrison has the Bate Boys.
The Bate Boys. First qualifying round.
Oh dear.
Won the title 13 consecutive years, by the way.
Wow.
It's me.
That sounds like fun. to watch if you're not a fan. If you're not a fan of them.
Tom
How could you?
Sorry.
Sorry, man.
Okay.
Linfield, Northern Ireland.
I'm not sure turning it that way. I'm going to help you.
Linfield.
Linfield.
Play at the National Stadium in Northern Ireland, by the way.
Which is called what?
My church.
Windsor Park.
Windsor Park, that's it.
Looking forward to that Northern Ireland game if we both get through.
Let's hope we're there, man.
It will be in Windsor Park, I think.
It will be. You can come round.
Next up, of course, that's first qualifying round for Tom. Next up, James Coffin.
James Coffin. Oh, I'm not set. Red Star Belgrade.
Now these guys, this is a story and a half, I think, with these lot, because they joined. I mean, it's a terrible draw. They joined in the first, but I've managed to get through to the group stage from there, proving
wow,
it can be done. It can be
anything's possible.
And then we've got Pasquale Leone.
Okay, yeah, another lady, yeah.
This is beautiful. Real Madrid.
Oh, nice.
three.
And I think she's Spanish, I think. So that's rather handy.
Oh,
Might even be a fan. Takes you to the group stage, of course. Next up, Blakey.
Oh, Blakey got in on the qualifiers, did he?
Yeah. Sneaked in. We're into this proper squeaky bum time with these.
Yeah.
Cluj.
Managed by who, Chris?
Cluj. Are they Petrescu? Is that Dan Petrescu?
Well done, son.
Come on.
Oh, that's good knowledge. They joined in the first qualifying round, though. And then we've got Paul Austin. The last 10. Almost there.
Okay.
Napoli.
Nice draw.
Group stage. Straight through for Paul. Next up, we got Starbucks. Mark Starbucks.
Oh, Starbucks got in.
Sneaked in, yeah, by the skin of his
Did you
teeth.
say that?
Yeah, you worried me there, Big. She said the last 10 because I've only got 4 left.
Yeah, I got 4 left as well. So I guess we're right.
Oh, shit.
Let's see how we go. Starbucks.
Inter.
Internazionale. And next up, we got Mike Cowan's Kebby.
MCK.
Rosenberg. So have you 3 left now, Tim? Yeah.
Yeah,
First qualifying round for Mike. And then Richard Green's next.
Richard Green has HJK Helsinki.
From Finland.
Only Finns to ever be in the Champions League group stage, by the way.
Fabian Maskell next up.
Okay.
Yeah. It's, Slovan Bratislava.
Slovan Bratislava.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's the one. Yeah.
First qualifying round for Slovan Bratislava and for Fabian.
Biggs, tell me you've 4 to go.
Sorry?
Tell me you've 4 to go.
Until
5.
Oh, well, don't worry. It's all right. We'll know that the last one will be that team.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Richard-
That's the way we planned it.
Yeah, exactly.
Richard Willis Hutchison.
Yeah. Okay. Who's Richard got?
Apoel.
Apoel Cypriot team.
Second qualifying round for Richard.
Okay.
Then we've got Robert Simpson.
Georgian team, so Sabertala.
Yeah. Justin, you've definitely had the harder ones to say.
Harder half draw, yeah.
Tim's been practicing all afternoon.
I know. I felt prepared. I definitely didn't do my homework.
Chris Lovegrove up next.
Okay.
Ajax.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, shit. No hand.
Ajax joined in the third qualifying round.
Oh, so they didn't win the league.
Might have
Maybe
done
they
it.
did. It's just maybe the Dutch are so far down the UEFA coefficients.
Maybe.
Yeah.
In fact, there's only 2 teams left in the hat now, and both are straight into the group stage. So, guys,
We're good to go, by the way.
Yeah.
Joseph Mulhern.
Joseph Mulhern and Justin's. This is Justin's last one, is it?
This is my last one, and what a one it is. Manchester City Football Club.
Oh, nicely left. Saved till last. It's a lovely draw for Joseph.
And finally, just a quick word on John Parkinson, who managed to sneak through in the last qualifying place. He was 32nd when only 21 were due to qualify from game week 24, but got through by dint of 11 others having qualified by other means. He was one of 4 people, actually, who were tied for that last qualification spot with 81 points in game week 24, who actually then got through only by the fact that he had the highest overall rank of those 4 teams. So talk about squeaking in, and then talk about the draw he's just about to get from Tim.
Wow. So he's done very well there, JP.
He's really lucked out, John.
Fair play.
All that
I'm glad to
chasing.
say that my daughter didn't actually steal one of them and we've got them all.
Okay, so is that all of them, Paul?
That concludes the draw. Everything seems to have worked. So, yes.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I think because we've just run to over an hour, I think probably we'll avoid a Q&A. Maybe do that next time. But yeah, no, thanks very much, guys, for joining us. Tim and Justin, thanks very much for helping out with the draw. Really appreciate all your skills, and Tim, your research was beautiful. Paul. So what's the next step then, Paul?
Next step is the Champions League will kick off in game week 26. There will be 4 teams contesting that particular round. Vince Siracusa, Alex Kasner, Steve Coffin and Marcus Blowers. So they will, I can tell you who's going to play who. So, so Vince will play Steve and Alex will play Marcus. And the winner of those then will go and play against each other in game week 27. Before a big chunk of teams come in game week 28. So
okay, excellent. Now we've got the what the SG stands for in Paris Saint-Germain, so we'll all be able to sleep a little easier tonight. Excellent. All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching, and thanks guys for helping do the draw. We'll be back for the next one, which will be the quarterfinals of the FFUK Cup. And we'll do a little update on the Champions League at that point as well, see where we're at. So we'll see you then. But until then, thanks very much, guys. Cheers. Cheers.
Have a good one.